one-on-one with Castle.
The entire series hinged on this play right here. Wemby contests into a miss, grabs the rebound, and this is the moment of truth. Do you push the ball or call timeout? Now, I'm all for catching the defense off guard, not a position to race up the floor, but we have to be aware of the time and situation here. If you are losing, then you want to get the best shot you can get as quickly as you can get it when the clock is under 20 seconds. This is simply a fact of proper strategy and clock management. We saw this 3 times during the regular season where the Spurs properly attacked quickly trying to get a shot. However, until last night, believe it or not, the Spurs were never in a situation where the game was tied with under 20 seconds to go and they got the rebound of a missed shot. Being in this exact position was completely foreign to the Spurs, so perhaps it's not surprising things went as badly as they did. Since the game was tied and the shot clock turned off, you want to take your time and run the clock down for the last shot. Lord knows you can't afford to give Jalen Brunson another shot at it. We've seen that movie way too many times. So you have to wonder why there was no timeout called. The play is in front of Spurs coach Mitch Johnson and the entire bench. It would have been easy for him to step out, hold up his hands, and get the team organized. Instead, we can see him encouraging Wemby to push the ball up the court. Now, for the sake of argument, let's just analyze the defensive positions of the Knicks to see if there could have been some sort of delayed fast break that could have yielded them a basket but still taken 8 to 10 seconds off the clock. At the moment Wemby begins turning up the court, look where the Knicks are. 4 of them have a head start over their counterparts. It would take a fraction of a second to realize that there was simply no advantage to be had in the open court. Since Wemby had already started moving up court, had you called timeout then, the ball would have been inbounded deep in the backcourt and not at the half-court line. But so what? With 13 seconds on the clock, it's plenty of time to get into the front court, run a play, and go for the win. Instead, we get this. It's hard to put into words what happened here other than to say youth and inexperience. But that's why the coaches are there, to help mitigate those issues. The problem is, they're also young and inexperienced. So, Wemby makes a decision here to pass the ball up to Castle. And in his defense, at that moment, Castle's head is turned back towards him, but his body certainly is not. He was never in any type of position to accept an outlet pass. And as Wemby realizes this, he tries to take it back. The pass floats a little bit on the way there, but hits him square in the back anyway. Had Wemby fired this pass properly, the ball probably goes out of bounds and saves them from the worst part of the play. Wemby pursuing the ball like it's a trapping defense and knocking Brunson down. If you had asked me the moment this shot missed how the Spurs could lose this game, I'd have been flummoxed, since it would require multiple mental mistakes, the likes of which we have never seen in the NBA Finals. At least with J.R. Smith, it was only one brain fart as he forgot to score in the moment, and then Magic Johnson in 1984, who somehow didn't realize the clock was about to expire and didn't do anything with it that cost them the game. But what Wemby did required 2 consecutive all-time mental errors, the second of which gave the Knicks free points. That said, why was Castle in the game in the first place? He did look good on some plays throughout the course of the game, but also extremely shaky on his turnovers, all of which occurred in the second half and contributed greatly to the Knicks building a lead into the fourth quarter. And as soon as he foolishly tried to force a shooting foul that led to him hurting his ankle and then coming out of the game, the Spurs went on a 21-9 run to tie the game with 30 seconds left. Sometimes young coaches have the urge to tinker with lineups way too much. This was one of the biggest lessons I learned from my mentor, and it's huge. If things are going well, don't do anything. And to make matters interesting, Brunson chokes the second free throw, but the Spurs get lucky when the refs either didn't see this kicked ball by Cornette or didn't deem it intentional, which is what determines a kicked ball violation, and so they get one more chance to win the game. Again, when you're down, you want to get the best shot you can as quickly as you can get it, so that there's time for a tip-in if the shot misses. So I cannot figure out why there's a 2-second delay before Wemby heads up to ball screen. As for the pop for the midi, I get it. The refs tend to swallow their whistles and it can get very risky if you try to barrel into the lane for a close-in shot. but it left them with no real time left for a second shot, and now it is pretty much certain that we'll be crowning the Knicks the next NBA champions, as no team has ever come back from losing the first 2 games of the NBA Finals at home. And I can't help but think what would have happened if things were different, like had the Spurs hacked the Mitch in Game 1 in crunch time, or called the timeout right here. We'll never know the answers, but hopefully we can all learn from the experience and avoid these mistakes in the future. A future that no doubt will bring multiple championships to San Antonio.